are live.
Hey crafters, welcome to this Crafty Life Live, the show where two crafters spend an hour feeding their passions for all things crafty, and they bring you along for the fun. Before we get started, if you have any questions or show ideas, please feel free to email us at thiscraftylifelive@gmail.com. Now let me introduce our hostesses today. First we have Maymay. Now I'm sure you guys might recognize her from her YouTube channel.
Or where you're from.
Maymay made it, where she does everything from paper crafting to upcycle projects. Maymay also designs a full line of clear stamps and has a stamp club. Now, for those of you that love art journaling, Maymay also has a special group that art journals scriptures called Hide His Word in My Heart. Oh, and did I mention she is a self-proclaimed Periscope addict? So everybody say hello to Maymay.
Hi, guys.
Now let me introduce Melody Lane. I'm sure you recognize her from her YouTube channel as well, where she does some pretty amazing projects and tutorials and fun hauls. Now she's also a Cricut product expert, and she designs her own line of digital papers for all of us paper crafters out there. Now Melody is also the queen of giveaways. She hosts the most amazing monthly giveaways on her Patreon page. So everybody say hello to Melody Lane. Melody Lane.
And let me.
Ladies.
Oh, can I introduce you?
Yeah.
Let me introduce our moderator for today. This is your very own Vinny from Vinny's Vittles. He is a wonderful moderator. He does a great job, and he's also, and I'm going to say it, my better half. Let's welcome Vinny.
Good job. All right, ladies, what's going on today's show?
On today's show, we are talking with Gina from Gina K Designs.
Hey, everybody.
And Melody has a cool craft for us, too. Tell us about your craft, Mel.
I am going to be showing you. Hold on, I have to get back to me. I'm not used to doing this.
She's having to do all the work part.
Last time it was Maymay's. This time it's my turn. So now I have these little Thanksgiving things for nameplates to put on the Thanksgiving table for each person. So I'm going to be showing you a little bit of how to do that, and then I have a full tutorial on that also.
It's going to be super cool. And don't forget that throughout the whole show today, there's a chat that you can get involved in. And Vinny is in that chat taking your questions and your comments. And I want to say to you that he's going to be chatting under the title Maymay Made It, because somehow he got signed into mine and we couldn't fix it. So let it ride, y'all. We're not going to stress about it. So he is going to be chatting with you from Maymay. So be sure if you have questions for me or for Melody or for Vinny or for Gina, go ahead and start putting them in there, and he'll keep up with those for us.
Yes. Our first segment today is our crafty news. And we want to say we feel terrible for Paris and everything that's happened, and we're praying for them. And Cricut has also acknowledged Paris, and they're giving away the free digital set Summer in Paris. Now, it's free to use only, I think, until the 21st of the month. So you can go into Design Space or Cricut Craft Room and use any of those images from that cartridge for free. If you want to make any cards or anything to send to Paris, or if you know anyone who has friends or family there that are feeling a loss. And Cricut has also, she has posted throughout Facebook and all the Facebook groups that the Cricut Design Space mobile app will be going offline. That means you don't have to be online to use the app. So that's great for people that go to crops and stuff that don't have Wi-Fi or internet access. You can cut and design and everything right from your phone or iPad or tablet. They're going to be having Android is coming soon. So right now it's only iPhones or iPads, but Android is coming very soon. So you'll be able to go offline with those. I know that was a big problem with people not wanting the Explorer because of the internet access. So soon you'll be able to go offline. No Wi-Fi or anything.
I think that's a big deal because a lot of people were really skeptical because of the online, which I love the online. I think it's awesome, and I don't run into a lot of places that don't have Wi-Fi. But for those of us who need the offline access, I think that's awesome. So I'm excited to see how that actually goes.
Yeah, we'll be testing it soon. So, and people were afraid that you could just design and not cut, but you can. I'm not sure how it all works yet, but as soon as I do know and as soon as I can tell you, I will be, and I will be also having some videos on how it works. And Thanksgiving is coming up, and we know what that means, Black Friday shopping. That is something that everyone has started. I think some of the stores have actually started their Black shopping sales now even. Maymay has a list of her Black Friday deals that she wants. But before we get to Maymay, I want everybody in the viewers watching live in the chat, do you guys want to share with us what you're looking for on Black Friday? Are there some deals that you just can't live without and you're going to go stand in line for 5 hours to wait for? Or is there something you're hoping to look for that maybe someone else can share where that best deal is? You guys put that in the chat, and Vinny will write them down for us. So, Maymay, what do you have to share with us? What's your Black Friday list?
Well, first off, I have to say I love Black Friday. I love shopping on Black Friday. Not everybody does, but that's kind of my thing. Hey, is this popping me up on the screen? Because it's not on my computer, so I just want to ask. Because I want to show things, and I'm afraid you can't see it.
Yes, I have you popped up for me.
Because I just see you. I don't know how this technology works. Me and technology, you know how that is. Okay, so here's what I want to tell you. There is a super cool website for Black Friday ads where you can go through the craft stores for your area that have Black Friday sales, and you can make like a shopping list, which is super cool. And I made a little shopping list of some of my favorites, but not all, because there's a lot more. And you guys know that my better half is on this show, so I can't let him see all my secrets, right? Everything I'm going to be buying on Black Friday. Because I'll be in trouble. But I found some really cool deals, y'all. First, I want to talk about AC Moore, and ironically, I don't have an AC Moore in my area. Like, we had one a while back, but it closed down. But from my research, and please check me and see if I'm wrong, because I could be, it looks like you can buy these things online. So, let me tell you the steal of the deal. This is probably my favorite Black Friday deal I found so far, and that is Prismacolor 48-piece colored pencil set with a paper pad for $28.88, and the regular price is $89 on that deal, and that's at AC Moore. And I think what an incredible gift for even people that are crafters. If you have friends that craft, or maybe you have a crop group and you're looking for a gift for $30 to give them something like that, wow, that would be amazing. And think about this: if you do like giveaways and stuff, that's a perfect giveaway gift. Also at AC Moore, really fast, they're going to have their scrapbook punches and their scrapbook tools. Buy one, get one 50% off. They're going to have holiday paper packs, 40% off. And this is one of my favorites because you guys know that we do scripture art journaling over on Hide His Word in My Heart. And they're going to have art journals, or journals that are 5.5 by 8.5 inch, 3 for $10. Those are just awesome deals at AC Moore. So I'll be doing some online shopping there if I can. So hopefully you'll see me using some Prismacolor pencils. Let's hope. Now at Michael's, I just picked some of my favorites, and so may not be for everybody, but be sure to go check out. We're going to put a link in the description to this cool little website I was telling you about. But here's what I found there. I'm pretty sure these are only Saturday deals, so I'm calling it Black Friday, but I think these start on Saturday, but check that flyer to be sure. But they're going to have their adhesive rolls and their adhesive runners, buy one, get one free, and who doesn't need a stash of adhesive, really? And then they're going to have the photo storage boxes, and I love these boxes because they're pretty in your craft room and you can use them to store everything. They're going to have them 7 for $10. Yes, you heard me right, 7 for $10. I was a shocked.
I stock up on them.
But 7 for $10, and I didn't do the math, it did it for me, makes them $1.42 a piece.
And those are nice gifts. Like, I've given Christmas gifts with those and just put a ribbon on them and then put stuff inside.
Brilliant. Think about this. $1.42 is cheaper than most gift bags out there.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I love it. I'm going to do that now.
can use.
I'm taking your idea. I think it's awesome. The other cool things at Michael's are going to be scrapbook paper pads, assorted ones, so they're going to choose them for you. They're going to be $5, so like the regular Supervise. But they're going to have Sharpie markers, BOGO, so buy one, get one free. And, hey, watercolorers, listen to this, because this is a cool one. The Strathmore 300 Series Artist Paper Pads, buy one, get two free. Yes.
Wow.
Two. Yes. Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
And then this one's just for Melody and George and Ken. Ready for this one? They're going to have their craft storage on sale, 60% off.
We
so you guys can buy more paper.
We don't need any paper. We tell each other we're not buying any more paper, but then we get to the store, oh, look how pretty it is.
The last thing I have for Walmart is this is a really cool one, guys. Those Recollection rolling carts that everybody loves are going to be $29.99. So check that Michael's Black Friday ad. Now, this needs a drum roll.
Let me say something about the rolly cart. I have the one that has all the different colors. We use that for scrap paper. So I put certain colors in, so it's so easy. Like I pull out the purple drawer, and I have my purple and pink scraps together in one drawer. So it makes it so much easier to find your scraps. You don't have to dig through different folders or anything, or just a box and look. I have them all color-coded, and it makes it really easy.
Brilliant. I love it. I love storage ideas because everybody needs more stash space. Now, this one, I want to tell you what I did. I searched for a good deal on the mink because everybody's talking about the mink, and I think it's incredible, too. I couldn't find a stellar deal on the mink, but I did find at Walmart on their Black Friday deals, they're going to have the Scotch Thermal Laminator for $12.88. Yep, $12.88. So be sure to double check these prices in your area. Remember, I just went online and looked at Black Friday deals, so it's probably kind of zip code specific. But check in your area and see what you can find because, wow, there's some great deals out for Thanksgiving. And also, Melody, do you have the Joann's information, or do you want me to discuss the Joann's?
You can go ahead.
I didn't print out the Joann stuff, but I want to make sure that I say this. Sorry, losing my voice. I want to make sure that I say, if you're a knitter or crocheter, they're going to have their yarns like 50 and 75% off depending on brands. But two of my favorite deals, flannel and fleece, are 75% off at Joann's. And also, this is my very favorite, Fisker's cutting tools will be 60% off. Now, for those of you who love my Fisker's rotary cutter, because you watch it all the time, you always ask me about it, I actually bought it on Black Friday, I think 2 years ago, at Joann's during their 60% off sale. So please grab those things. So that's my Black Friday news.
Speaking of Joann's, I went there a few years ago. Before it was paper crafting, I was sewing. And before I was addicted to paper, I was addicted to fabric. And they had their flannel on sale at Black Friday, and I filled my cart up with the big, what do they call it, the big rolls of fabric?
The bolts.
Yeah, the bolts of flannel. And I think I spent $200. And I couldn't believe I spent that much when I got out there, but I also was buying other things and ribbon storage and all different things. And I was addicted to ribbon at that time also. And so I just couldn't believe how much I spent. But when you're buying fabric at Joann's, make sure you get in line as soon as you can to get it cut, because that does take a while, especially on Black Friday. The lines can be pretty long.
Yeah, there's not a lot of things I'm going to tell you to get out of bed for. If you a lot of the Black Friday deals, if you can get them online, get them online. But if you need fabric or things physical like that, those Fisker's products are going to go fast. But the biggest thing about the fabric is you have to stand in line to get it cut. And also, if there's a certain pattern you're wanting and someone has it in their buggy, you have to wait for them to finish with it before you get it. So that's one of those things. Get there early for that kind of stuff so you can be gone and off to Starbucks before everybody else even starts stressing out.
And, okay, I'm going to confess here. One year at Black Friday, I really wanted something. And I went to the store the night before, like the Wednesday, because they were closed on Thanksgiving. And I went and found something I wanted, and I hid it in the store. I didn't hide it like somewhere else. I just kind of like put one like right next to something behind something, you know, that's all. Just so I knew exactly where it was and I could go find it.
Did it work?
It worked. I knew exactly where it was, and I went. Well, I was one of the first people there in the morning. I don't even remember what it was. I just know I really wanted it. And I was driving by on my way home from work, so. And I'm going to be shopping online, I think, this year for Thanksgiving. We're going to be in Virginia visiting Ken's family. So Blitzy has some online deals, and Joann's and Michael's and Amazon and Cricut.com also has some great deals. And Gina K Designs is going to have some awesome deals, but they're a surprise, and she says they start at midnight. So make sure you check out Gina K Designs. She's going to talk about some of her stuff, and she's also got a giveaway that we'll talk about too. Blitzy is having a pajama party starting at midnight on Black Friday with prizes going all throughout the night. So if you can stay awake.
I'll have my pajamas on, I promise you that.
And every day they're also having a sneak peek of their coming up to their big weekend. And Maymay, we have scrapbookwithme.com is having some big sales. Do you know about their sales? Or
it's scrapbookingwithme.com, and some of you may know that Edith sponsored some Periscopes I did recently, and she asked me if I would share the information. I do have it here. You want me to mention it?
Sure.
They are having a Black Friday Super Saturday sale. It's on the Facebook store only. We'll put a link to that in the description of the video today. It starts at 10 a.m. on Friday and ends at 10 p.m. on Saturday night. They have hundreds of items on sale, limited quantity, so this is one of those get there quick situations. There'll be sneak peeks announced on their YouTube channel. We'll put a link to that as well. 3 sneak peeks a week until the sale, so they've already been doing that, so go check some of those out. And, yeah, we'll put the link for there. So that is scrapbookingwithme.com. Who is also, can I put in a shameless plug, please? Shameless plug.
Sure.
Okay. We are almost at 40,000 subscribers on Maymay Made It. I'm totally blown away by that. But Edith offered to sponsor a giveaway for that because I wasn't going to do one at 40 because we just did 30, so we're going to wait. And she's like, no, let me give some stuff. So we also have that coming from Edith, so that's awesome too.
Oh. And do we have any questions? Or, no, wait, we forgot about one thing. Maymay has Button Day.
Guys, it's National Button Day. Okay. If you followed Maymay Made It for any length of time, you know that I have this thing about buttons. And when I was a kid, my grandmother had one of those classic button tins. And I love to open the lid and, like, stick my hands in and play with them. Y'all know you did it, too. It's not just me. It's not just crazy Maymay. But it's National Button Day. And listen to this. I think this is cute. It says National Button Day is observed annually on November 16th. It was founded in 1938, which says there were lots of people loving their buttons, even way back then. And it is for button collectors and crafters. So it says, do you remember your mother snipping the buttons off of shirts that were headed to the rag basket or collecting them in jars? Possibly there were a couple of jars filled with different sizes and colors of buttons on her shelf, and maybe you were lucky enough to play with them. See? It's not just me. The buttons were fun, and I remember my grandmother, like if they had something going to the dry cleaners or what have you, or even like if my papa's clothes had worn out, she would cut every button off. No button left the house, ever. So let me show y'all my collection. This is my button collection. It's in its Ziploc bag home. And check it out. I love to do this. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to do that all day. So, show your buttons some love today. You what, Mel?
Yeah. It's a stress relief to, like, you know, hold your buttons and squeeze them.
It's like a stress ball. Okay, so show your buttons some love today, and I challenge you to make a card with a button today. Do it. Let's see what you can come up with.
Okay, Vince, do you have any questions or comments for us?
Well, we haven't had a lot of questions so far, but we did have a couple of comments. Lori mentioned that the Brutus Monroe site was going to be having a really big sale for Thanksgiving. She also mentioned that in the past, Michael's did a lot of different sales based by the hour. So, like, their sales changed every hour or so. Crafts by Two did mention that AC Moore does not sell online.
Oh,
So
see?
we might want to, pay attention to that.
I'm glad they said that, because, see, I don't have an AC Moore in my area, and I haven't shopped there in forever, so I won't be able to get those unless Melody or George will go pick those up for me on Black Friday and then send them to me. But let me mention that real quick about Brutus Monroe, because I totally forgot that, and he's doing, Christopher Allen is doing, his smaller stamps are going to be $1. I think they're 2x3s. I don't remember exactly, but he's doing those for $1 until they're gone. And he's got a bunch of special stuff, and I think his inspiration box kicks off that day. So I'm glad they reminded me of that. They're absolutely right.
We got quite a few people watching right now, about 70 people, and they're from about 6 or 7 different states and a couple of different countries. If anybody else wants to let us know where they're talking from, we sure would appreciate to know that, or where you're logging and watching from anyway, so that we can keep up with how far we're reaching out.
That's awesome. So hello to everyone. I'm so glad you're here. And now we get to introduce to you Miss Gina K. Now, I'm sure most of you know Gina from her wonderful YouTube channel where she is Stamp TV. I've watched Gina. She is an inspiration to me. I love her crafting style. So, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Gina K.
Hey, everybody.
So, Gina, tell us a little bit about you and your crafts and anything you want to tell us today.
Well, for those of you who don't know me, I am a married crafter. My husband and I work together in our business. We own a company called Gina K Designs, and you can find us online. And I am also the host of our online television show called Stamp TV. Stamp TV is broadcast quality videos. We bring you all kinds of paper crafting, card projects, and techniques. And I just want to thank all of you guys for having me on the show. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. And I do want to say, I love the quality of your videos. That's one of my favorite things. That's one of the things that attracted me to you, was the clean, neat, easy tutorial that I can actually understand and duplicate. So I really love that about your show.
Thank you.
Now, for questions today,
sorry to bump in here, but I just want to say I was really impressed with her studio. It's on her blog, and I saw a picture of her studio. I was really impressed with that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's my IKEA stuff. I love anything by IKEA because it's inexpensive, but it's so functional, and you can always find stuff to match. So that's where I got my furniture for that online studio pictures that you've seen on my blog.
That's awesome. Now, the questions we came up with for Gina, a lot of them were submitted from viewers on our Facebook page. We'll have links to all that social media for you below. The first question is from Leanne Waddles Carter, and she says, I've watched a ton of your videos and want to know where you get your inspiration for your designs, and P.S. she loves your cardstock.
Oh, well, thank you. I love the cardstock too. It's a lot of fun, lots of neat colors, and a nice weight for card bases. Where do I get my inspiration from? I have to tell you, you can find inspiration just about anywhere. One of the things that I love to do when I'm looking for ideas of color combinations is just kind of browse through the fabric stores and look at the different bolts of fabric. You can find some very unique color combinations there. As far as stamp designs, one of the things I really like to do is kind of walk through some of the more trendy stores, like I think Target has a great graphic look about it, and they have a lot of really trendy pieces, home decor. I love to just browse through there. You can kind of get an idea of what the upcoming patterns are going to be like from the clothing and the fabrics and places like that. So that's some of the places I get my inspiration. I also get some inspiration just from looking through the pages of magazines, home decor magazines, different women's magazines, and even fashion magazines. You can kind of get an idea of upcoming trends that are coming over from Europe, or even things that are starting on the coast. If you happen to be in the Midwest like I am, you can see what's happening in New York, see what's happening in LA, and a lot of those same patterns and color combinations, Pantone colors, translate into the crafting industry about 6 months later.
That is brilliant. I never thought about looking at fashion magazines, but that makes perfect sense because we do pull things from that all the time.
We do. We pull patterns, background stamps. A lot of the background stamps you'll see all of a sudden a big push towards houndstooth or a big push toward fleur-de-lis. And a lot of that comes from not just the clothing patterns, but also the furniture patterns. You see the different sofa patterns and curtain patterns and things like that in the fashion magazines and the home decor magazines.
That is a great tip. Everybody's going to run and buy their fashion magazines. Me too, by the way. Hey, the next question comes from Sandra Calhoun, and it's kind of like the first one, but a little bit different. She'd like to know how you got started and who was your inspiration. Instead of where, who was your inspiration?
Well, I got started probably like a lot of you got started. I was sitting home one day and the mailman came and I got a postcard in the mail to come to a home stamping party for one of my neighbors. And I had no idea. I didn't know what stamping really was. So I went to the party, and just like a lot of you, I was instantly hooked. I wanted stamps and ink and paper. And I stamped for a while, and then the person who I was purchasing my products from told me that I might be interested in becoming a demonstrator. So I started as a demonstrator for a home party program, and I did that for probably maybe 4 or 5 years. I really enjoyed it. I had a nice downline, and we had a lot of fun. And then at one point they changed their career plan, and it didn't work out for me anymore. So I thought, well, maybe it's time to branch out on my own, and that's what I did. But my inspiration when I got started, they were the demonstrators for the home party plans that they were all so talented and so willing to share, and so they became my inspiration and my first teachers when it came to stamping and scrapbooking.
I had no idea you did the home party first. That's really interesting to learn.
I did.
That is awesome. Hey, this next question is from Katie Ballard. She's a friend of mine, by the way. She says, what is your process when you start to design a card?
You know, one of the things that I do is I'll take a piece of pattern paper and I'll look at the different color combinations, and then I'll grab ink and cardstock to kind of go along with it. And then I'll pick a focal image and stamp it, and I use those colors to color in that focal image. And that's how sometimes I get my weird color combinations, where I might have an owl that's turquoise, or I might have a bird that's pink. It really kind of plays off of the colors that I've chosen first. So I do that. I have several card sketches that I tend to fall back on a lot, but you can make them look different by adding different types of die-cut flourishes or flowers or buttons, different things like that. So I kind of go back to my fallback ones, but sometimes you just kind of throw things on the card and just see how it looks, and you come up with a winner.
That's one thing I love about your tutorials is you teach us to take a focal image and build around that image, even though I've noticed the focal image is sometimes the last thing to actually sit on the card. I can tell it might have been the first thing to start, and I love that because it helps me when I start too, so that's a very good tip. All right, Mary Sarkis, she has another question. This is a good one. I get this question a lot too. What do you recommend for a newbie just getting into stamping?
Oh, that is a good question. That's a very good question. One of the things that I would highly recommend is don't buy too much too fast. There are basic staples that I think every crafter or every paper crafter should have in their collection, and then there's trends. And the trends are the things where, you know, all of a sudden ladybugs will be the trend, and everybody will be coming out with ladybug stamps, and you feel like if you don't have those ladybug stamps that you can't make a card. That's not true. Start off with some real good tools and some basics. Get a good quality cardstock, get a good quality black ink pad, maybe a couple colors of ink that you really like to work with, and then some basic tools like a good paper cutter, something to color with. Maybe you like colored pencils, maybe you like some basic markers, maybe you like watercolors, maybe you're a painter. And just have a small stash of good quality tools and a couple of all-occasion stamp sets, something that you can use to make a variety of different types of cards: birthday, thank you, thinking of you, sympathy. And there are plenty of great companies out there that have those eclectic sets where you can buy one stamp set that has 5 or 6 different themes in it. And then you can add those trendy items as you go. But don't feel like you need to have an entire craft room full of stuff to get started. There are many times where I will go on a stamping retreat, or I'll go away for a weekend with my daughter for her swim meet, and I'll pack a very small bag, and it will have a couple of all-occasion stamp sets, black ink pad, some colored pencils, adhesive, and pre-cut cardstock, and I'm good to go. I can make tons of cards that way. So kind of get your feet wet. I also recommend finding somebody locally maybe that has get-togethers like crops or card-making days where you can go and you can kind of share tools and try some things first before you buy them. See if you like them. Take some classes, things like that.
Those are very good tips. We do that. We have a craft party, and everybody comes and brings their tools, and I can't tell you how many times I've learned a new tool just from that craft party where somebody brought some good tools or something we hadn't seen before.
Yeah, and most of the bigger cities will have rubber stamp expos or scrap fest type of things where you can go and you can take classes, or you can do make and takes, stop by different vendor booths and try things. So before you jump into some ornate tool that you're not sure you're even going to use, it's kind of nice to go to those types of events and just give them a try.
Very good tips. I think that'll help our newbies out a lot. Now, this kind of is a question from me to you, but I think I have a lot of people who are starting YouTube channels or starting their businesses, and I know that they don't know where to start. So here's my question for you. As a woman in business, what do you find is the hardest thing to juggle in your business life and your personal life to keep everything smooth?
Well, I'll tell you, I do get asked that question from time to time from different customers and members of our community. They ask me about that. One of the things that I find the hardest to juggle is the people in our industry tend to really be busy all the time. There are huge shows to go to, like the CHA. And I made a commitment when I first started my company back in 2007. I made a commitment to myself and to my family that I was not going to miss the family things. So I know a lot of my, I'll call them competition, although I don't feel that way. I feel like they're my friends. I'll have to say a lot of my friends in the industry have done a lot of the bigger events like the CHA and things like that, and their businesses have grown quite quickly. My business is still very small, but it's because I've chosen to put family first. I decided that I was never going to miss a swim meet of my daughters. I was never going to miss an art presentation of my other daughters. And that actually forced me to give up on some of those business opportunities. So I would say that for any woman that's starting a business and trying to decide how you want to do it, you know, you can always make money and you can always work hard, but you're never going to get those times with your family back again. So just, you know, make family and God first, and then business second, and you'll find that you won't have as much trouble juggling as you think you will, because those priorities will be there. I
respect that so much. As a woman in business and hearing you say that, it really, I know that I know exactly what you mean by they're not competition. We don't have. That's the cool thing about our business. We really support each other really well, and I'm in the same boat as you. I try to put God first, obviously, then family, and I think it comes across, and I think that's why people flock to you, because they can see your passion is not just your crafting, but you're also a mom and a Christian, and they can see it, and I respect that in you. That's probably the best way to say it, is I respect that very much, and I appreciate that you don't hide that in your crafting. Hey, one last question. How often, it's kind of along the lines of that same thing, how often do you bring out a new stamp set? Do you have a set time?
Well, we do a new Stamp TV kit every other month. When we first started, we were going to do one every month, but it really does take a while to design a kit, design the papers, kind of put everything together, and then to get the products manufactured. So we do a new Stamp TV kit every other month. And then on the months in between, I have some fabulous illustrators that design stamp sets, and we release their products in between the Stamp TV kits. So once a month we have something new coming out. There are months where we just skip, and usually those are my fault, because my daughter will be at a national swim meet and we're gone for a week, and I just decided that I'm going to give that time to her, so we're going to not have a release that month. But for the most part, it's every month we do have something new coming out.
And you release a video on your YouTube every week, is that right?
I do, most weeks. There are occasions where I'm out of town and I can't, but for the most part, I will release at least one new video a week, and then my illustrators also do videos, and those are posted onto our stamptv.com channel as well.
And we'll have links to all those channels below too, or not the channels of your illustrators, but your channel, so we can get there and find everybody.
For sure.
I have so appreciated you coming in today. I've learned a lot, and I've learned more about you, and I think everybody else has too. But something even better, you're going to sponsor a giveaway for us today. You want to tell us what you're giving away?
Yeah, we are giving away a brand new Sparkling Christmas Stamp TV kit. And what's inside that kit, we have some of the Gina K Designs cardstock, our heavy base weight and layering weight cardstock in a variety of colors. We have the Sparkling Christmas Pattern Paper Pack. And then we have two 6x8 stamp sets. They are clear, the photopolymer stamps, 2 Christmas sets, and also a set of snowflake dies. It all comes in a clear plastic storage box, so you can keep all the components of the kit together, and you can tune into my YouTube channel each week and see a new card project or 3D project created with that kit, so you'll get lots of ideas to go along with it.
And I know, because I saw when you released that kit. I love your release parties, by the way. They're super fun.
Thank you.
And I saw when you released the kit, so if you head to her channel, you'll be able to see exactly the kit. And I know you've done have you done 2 card tutorials already from the Sparkling Christmas kit?
I think I've done 3.
Okay, so 3. I know we can already see some of that. Now, let me tell you guys how the giveaway works on this Crafty Life Live. We leave the giveaway open for 24 hours once the video goes live, or not live, but once it is uploaded in the reload onto YouTube. So there'll be a link to a Rafflecopter giveaway for that, and we'll announce that winner in 24 hours. We'll also put that on our Facebook too, so you'll be able to get to that. And so don't miss out. Make sure that you get over there after we put the show up on YouTube and get into that giveaway. Gina, I want to thank you so much. And she's not gone yet, guys. Here's what we're going to do. Gina's going to hang around to the end of the show, and then when we have our crafty chat, she's going to come back and chat with you guys and answer your questions. So I'm sure Gina had some great points that you might want to elaborate on. So please put that into the chat for Vinny, and he will take care of that. All right, so this is the fun part of the show, because Mel, or I call her Mel, y'all might call her Melody Lane. Melody has got a cute little craft for us in Craft Corner. Let's see what you got, girl.
Okay, first I want to say I want Gina's thing now. I have to go buy it. So after the show, I'm going to go buy her kit, because I can't win it. So I'm going to get it, because I've been wanting to try her paper, because I don't have enough paper.
None of us do.
No, but I always love trying different papers. And the kit sounds awesome with all the stuff you get in it. Okay, how do I do this? Okay, I'm going to show my mat, so I'm going to switch cameras. There, can you guys see my table?
We can see it.
Okay. I made, now, as we do on this show, we're not going to do a full tutorial because that takes too long, but I have a full tutorial on making both of these. This one I made with the Cricut, and then this one I made with only a few punches. And in the video I didn't say what size these were because I didn't even know. This is Fisker's, just a scallop punch. This is a 2-inch, and this is 1.5. So I just wanted to show that. That's not in the video, although I show those. But I only use those for this part here, and you can use anything. You can put any image you want there. I was going to make a turkey, but I figured I kind of like it like this. And not just for Thanksgiving nameplates, but this could be used for anything. You could do red, white, and blue for a 4th of July party or anything like that. And you can make them any size. And then this one, everything was cut out, and that was written with the Cricut Explorer. So all that is in the video. And I want to say, for the first time ever I did this in my video, I did not use a scoreboard because I couldn't find it. So I did punch the edges with another punch. And if you've never made rosettes, you just take a strip. This is 12 inches, and I punched the edges, but you don't have to punch the edges to make a rosette. And it was really easy. All I did was start folding back and forth. And as you go, it gets easier and faster. But all I did was fold it back and forth. I did take a bone folder and press this down so it was more sharp, I guess, the folds. So I'm just going to do this one. But this is great for kids to do too. You can just do it like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because if you guys watch my videos, you know I don't do everything perfect. Actually, I don't do anything perfect. And everything's upside down for me, for the camera, so. And I think it depends on how much you fold of how many of these you need. Like, these folds are not quite even, because I just did it really quickly. If you have a scoreboard, it makes it much easier. But then I just took a piece of, where you can see the bottom, I just punched out a scallop, put hot glue on it, and put this down. And this is the same way you make rosettes. You just put more of these together to form a circle, and so you have a really long one, and then you just push it all down, and I put hot glue down on either like a circle like this or just on my mat if I have a non-stick mat, and glue it down so you have a rosette, and then you can put circles or an image or something on top to make a rosette. But I used a few different colors on these. These are 4-inch cutouts, and the Cricut scores and everything's for you, so that made it a lot easier. And I used googly eyes. I love googly eyes. So it was really simple to make, and this one was also just as simple, even though I did it without any machine or anything. Alright, so I guess that's it. Does anyone have any questions?
So Mel, you know what about that is super cool? The one you did with no tools. Okay, if you're like me and you have little kids running around the house like I used to have all the time, when you're getting ready for Thanksgiving lunch, you could go ahead and pre-cut those strips. They could do all that accordion fold, and they could make the place settings for your table while you're cooking.
Yeah.
And keep them out of your way, like out from under the feet.
Yeah. And that it's something kids feel, you know, they like to help and they like to do crafts. I did as a kid. I loved doing crafts. So anytime I could do crafts, I did. And it's like a little gift they can give to the people for dinner. And, you know, if you have guests coming, they can take them home. And You know, kids would love to get these, especially the turkey. Kids would love to, like, have something. Or, I mean, you could put a turkey on here and put a little head, and or just make a smiley face. Add some googly eyes.
Do you have that file available for anyone?
This file, I give all of my files to the people who support me on Patreon for $1 or more. There's over 100 files they get for Design Space and all the video tutorials for them also.
And do you have a secret for us today?
Oh, secret word today is thankful.
Why do we need that word?
We need that word to enter the contest for the giveaway.
Don't forget, guys.
We're gonna do, for the Rafflecopter, it's gonna ask you what today's secret word is. So you have to watch this video to get the secret word, and it's thankful. So don't tell anyone else the secret word. Tell them they have to watch the video.
That's right. Hey, Vinny, any comments or questions in our chat today?
Well, we've actually had quite a few. Let me get my question sheets out. Let's see. We had one comment that I thought was really cool. It came from Kathy. She said that she took her first card class from Gina when Gina was in McFarland. And I always think first are pretty important, so I thought that was really cool.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful.
Let's see. Lori asked, Gina, what are your top 3 most used or loved basic paper crafting tools?
My top 3. Well, I have to say that my Score Buddy I can't live without because our cardstock is pretty thick, so I like to get those crisp folds at the top of my cards. So I can't live without that. I cannot live without my mono-adhesive or adhesive in general. Adhesive to me is like toilet paper. If there's a snowstorm coming, I've got to run out and make sure I get extra adhesive because you cannot run out of adhesive when you're a paper crafter. So I would say adhesive is number 2, and my paper cutter. I have to have a good paper cutter. If I can't cut straight, that drives me nuts. So those are my top 3.
Okay, cool. Now, Candy asked about how many people do you employ with your business?
We actually we're a very small business. A lot of people perceive us as a bigger business than we actually are. My husband and I work in our warehouse together, and then we have a fulfillment house that we partnered with, and they do all of our shipping and packaging and things like that. So as far as actual employees, it's my husband and I, and then this fulfillment service that employs probably 10 people that focus on our particular account.
Oh, very cool. Okay, Raven asked, now I know a lot of different companies have ink pads and stuff like that, but she asked if you had a favorite that you like to use. And she also wanted to know as a second part, should you always stamp in black?
Okay. The first part, my favorite ink, well, I have a couple of different favorite inks. I do have my own line of ink, the Gina K Designs brand, and it's a premium dye ink. It dries very quickly, and it works great with both clear, the photopolymer, and rubber stamps. So I have to say that we did a lot of research to find a good quality ink, and we really love the ink that we produce. But I also am a big fan of Memento ink by Sukaniko. I like their black and their rich cocoa ink, and I think they have a color called Espresso. I like those. It's a brown black. I like those for coloring with alcohol markers. You can use the Gina K Designs ink with alcohol markers, but honestly, I've had such good results with the Memento ink that I use that more when it comes to alcohol markers. My third favorite ink would be Distress ink. It acts a little bit differently than just a regular dye ink because it stays wetter longer for doing some cool blending techniques. Now, the question, do you always have to stamp in black? Oh, absolutely not. You can stamp in a variety of colors. I like to use, we have a color called charcoal brown in our collection. And charcoal brown is a brown black, just like the Espresso by Memento. I like using that when I am when I'm making projects that are warmer toned projects, for example, autumn colors, ivory cardstock, then I like to use a brown black. When I'm doing the cooler tones, like the blues and the purples and the pinks, then I like to use black. But there's a variety of stamps on the market now that require colored ink to build flowers and to stamp solid images. So just try all different kinds of ink and have fun. And there is no right or wrong when it comes to paper crafting.
All right. Now, we had Crafts by Two ask a question. They were wondering if there was any chance that there might be a special discount code for your store for the people that are watching live today.
Well, that might be fun to do. Yeah, we can do something like that. I think we can do that. I'll talk to you guys after the show, and maybe we can add a link to something or a code.
That was a loaded question, Crafts by Two.
Yeah, that was kind of baited, but I didn't want to not ask.
Yeah, sure. No, that's fine.
Now, this question, I guess, would be more directed toward Melanie and Maymay. Is the giveaway open to people internationally?
Gina, do you ship international?
Yes, we do.
Then yes.
Worldwide.
So, Gareth, yes, it is open to international.
Good luck, Gareth.
For sure. For sure. We love our international customers, and there's no way that I would want to exclude anybody from a giveaway.
All right, well, that's all the questions that I have so far.
Those are really, really good questions, and I love how Gina answered them. And I agree with everything she said about her inks and everything. I agree. Where are we at? Mel, we have our new segment that we forgot to mention earlier, which we call our Crafty Faves. And in this segment, each week, it really works out well because somebody asked Gina what her 3 favorite tools were, and it's so hard to narrow down 3. Like, I know Gina feels like me too. Like, you start with those, and then you go, oh, but then you need, and oh, but then you, because I'm that way. But anyway, we have our craft aid, and so what this segment is going to be each week, Melody and I are going to pull one thing out of our stash, each of us, so you'll get 2 a week, and we're going to show you what is our favorite, either for that week or just in general. So I'm going to let Melody start with her craft aid.
Okay, can anyone guess what my craft favorite is?
I bet it's not paper.
It's paper. I love paper. I'm addicted to it. But all this paper behind me, underneath this, it's all paper. I'm not the only paper addict in the house. Some of you know I live with Crafts by Two. They're not here. They're at their day jobs. And George also is a craftaholic and or craft hoarder. We have a Facebook group called Craft Hoarders on Facebook. And he also loves to buy paper, and we enable each other. So it's really hard. But we have some empty racks, too, that we haven't put all the paper away. And now I'm excited to try Gina's paper. I didn't really know she had paper, and I also read in the chat, because I have the chat open a little bit, that Gina's inks match her paper.
Yes, it all coordinates.
So that's really exciting because I love that. So I might have to be shopping with that discount code. But my paper over here is all Cricut paper, and then behind me, I know you guys can't see real well, but there's these 2 racks are all Recollections paper from Michaels. Whenever they had a sale, you could buy like 5 packs for $10. We went shopping, and last year at one point I was in Florida and he was here, and we both went shopping at the same time, and my trunk was full of paper, and he also bought a lot of paper. We have 180 colors of Recollections paper, and I do have to say though, Michael's Recollections paper used to be really good paper, but the quality of the paper is not as good as it used to be. But when you need something for a certain color, they have a huge variety of colors, but like I said, because when I moved in, we merged our paper, and sometimes it took me 5 minutes to decide if this was a different color of paper or not. I think at different times when they made it, they came out different colors. Like, they're not like most companies who have the certain colors and they're all the same. I think every time Michaels comes out with a paper pack, the colors don't match the last paper pack. So we have a huge variety of color. But I do like the Cricut paper better because it's thicker and it's solid core. I like that. I like the Close to My Heart paper too, but it's a white core. And I haven't tried the Gina K designs yet, so maybe I will buy some of that, and I'm going to get her kit. So maybe I'll do an unboxing video and show all that and do a project with that too.
Hey, we may run over our hour in this, but I don't know if that's okay. Gina, will you give a quick rundown of your different types of paper? Because your paper is awesome, and Melody, you're going to love this. Listen to this.
We have 2 different types of weights for our paper. We have something called heavy base weight paper, and that is predominantly for card bases and colored layering. And then that paper weighs 100 pounds, so it's a 100-pound cardstock. Nice and thick, but not too thick. I can still use it in my silhouette, or you can use it in the Cricut. You just need to have your settings set for heavy cardstock. Then we also have our white and our ivory cardstock, and that is 120 pound, so it feels super luxurious. It's wedding invitation quality. It's so beautiful. Now for the white and the ivory, we also have an 80-pound cardstock, and that's great for focal images and for layering. Now, the one thing I want to tell you about our cardstock that's different than any cardstock I've found anywhere so far, our white heavy base weight cardstock, which is the 120 pound, does not bleed when you use alcohol markers. So if you want to make a single layer card and you want to color the front of the card with Copic markers, it will not bleed through to the other side, which is really nice. But that's just our white. Our white is special for that. So those are the couple of the types of cardstock that we have. And then we also do a whole line of pattern paper. We have 6x6 pattern paper packs that also coordinate with our cardstock and our ink and our different stamp sets.
I was hoping you would mention that your white doesn't bleed with the Copics, because that is a huge deal. And I actually heard that on, it might have been Lindsay, it might have been the Frugal Crafter who mentioned that, or it could have been Cinnamon. Why do I think Cinnamon might have said it? But either way, I learned that from someone else and didn't realize, so I'm glad you mentioned that, because I bet a lot of people don't know that.
Well,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
One of the nice things about that is our paper isn't quite as porous as some of the cardstock. The white paper isn't quite as porous, so you need less ink to blend. And when you're talking about expensive markers like the Copic markers or the Prismacolor markers, you know, the artist markers, those high quality, very expensive tools, ink is expensive, and you use a lot less, but you can still get beautiful blended results.
That's right. So if you're, and I'm big on Spectrum Noir because I just can afford them more. So my Spectrum, and I know you use those too, Gina. My Spectrums, I'm always looking for paper that doesn't bleed, because I, like Gina mentioned, like to take an image and just color it and then just make a card out of it, because you could spend more time on coloring your image, and then you don't have to do all the layering and all that, and then you get a quick card. So I love that. So I'm glad that we were able to mention paper. Is it my turn for my favorite craft? It's not a craft. It's not paper. Hey, Mel, can you guess what mine is? Are you going to try? Ready? It is art glitter glue. Everybody knows this is my favorite product in the world. Now, let me tell you.
I was going to guess glue or adhesive.
It's the art glitter glue. Here's why. I am a adhesive junkie as well, okay? And I used to live and die by my ATG gun for everything. And I still love my ATG for different places, but this glue is amazing. First off, it doesn't buckle paper, and the only reason I can figure that it doesn't is because it dries so fast, the paper doesn't have time to buckle. It's like I can use a lot of this glue, which I don't need to. Like, I've tested it to see if it will, like, bubble or whatever, and it doesn't. Now, every time I use this in a video, every single time somebody says, where can I get that and where can I get the fine tip? Can y'all see that little bitty fine tip?
Yeah.
See that? And it has this pin inside of it, which is uber important. I'm going to tell you about that pin in just a second, except that I'm blind and can't put it back. Okay, so that is art glitter glue. Here's the big news that I'm so excited about, and so is Vince, because much like Gina, our business is run with two people, me and Vince. That's it. So we're really excited to share this with you today. We have decided to start carrying a line of products called Maymay's Favorites. And this is my very first product that we're going to carry outside of our acrylic blocks, because we've had those. So we are now carrying the art glitter glue in 2 sizes because I'm starting with this one because it's my very favorite. So I want to show you something real quick. This is the 4-ounce bottle of art glitter glue. The reason I show you this is because for the longest time I was telling people just to find this on Amazon or go to their website or what have you. Well, Amazon, they offer a 2-ounce bottle, not the 4-ounce bottle, and they offer the 8-ounce, which is this dude, right? Okay, you get double the product for a much better price if you go ahead and do the 4-ounce bottle. But here's the trick. You got to know this. See this little tip on the top? In order to put the fine tip, which I'm also carrying in my store now, I can't stand it. I'm so excited. The fine little tip, okay, goes onto this little black tip, but that tip does not come on the refill bottle. So I want to make sure everybody knows that. Here's what I did, because everybody loves that I have my big old bottle with the fine tip on it. I purchased the regular bottle first, okay? Then when I bought my refill bottle, I just unscrewed this cap and put it onto this bottle instead of refilling the bottle. Make sense? So, to get yourself started with your art glitter glue, it's not art glitter. There's no glitter in this, by the way. Get yourself the fine tip and get yourself the small bottle to get yourself started. I have done shipping as affordably as I possibly can, and I may even be too cheap. We'll see. We'll see how this works. But that was one of my big complaints, is that everybody that everybody that sold this product charged such a high shipping, and so I'm trying very hard not to do that. But it is available right now in my Etsy store, which we're going to leave in the link below. So that is my favorite, and for more reasons than I sell it now. I'm telling you, you will be so happy with this product because you can instantly glue things down. I also found out in purchasing it, which I did not know this. I'm going to see if I can read this to you. It works on, they don't have it listed here. When you look on my website, I copied the image from the person that I got this from, actually from their website. I copied all the surfaces it works on. You will be shocked to see how many surfaces you can use this glue on, and I've tested most of them. So, art glitter glue is my very favorite craft product, but my new favorite, just for the heck of it, is this dude. Look, guys!
Love it!
So we have little mugs. We don't know what we're going to do with them yet. I don't think we'll probably find a way to do these in giveaways for you guys or whatever, but we had to have them, and Melody doesn't have hers yet, but she will, hopefully. Yeah, she'll have it by the next show for sure, and then we can all be sipping on our little couch. We're sending Gina one. Yeah.
Do we have time for a couple more questions?
Yeah.
Okay, this one was for Gina. They asked, what are the similarities between spectrum markers and Copic markers?
Well, all alcohol markers have the same basic chemical compounds in them, so they all work the same way. The Spectrum Noir markers and the Copic markers can be used together, and I know a lot of either Copic enthusiasts or Spectrum Noir enthusiasts might say, no, 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 don't mix them. You can. You can mix them for sure. I think that the Copic markers, the sketch markers, have that really nice brush tip that you may not find on some of the other alcohol markers, and a lot of people really like the way that feels. It's very nice if you're an artist because it almost feels a little bit like a paintbrush. It's very soft and it's very bendable and movable, where I haven't found that same type of tip for other alcohol markers. And Copic has way more colors than any other brand out there. Those are probably the things that make Copic a little bit more special than the other ones. But if you're just getting started or you just want to color pretty pictures, any of the alcohol marker brands will work, and they'll work the same exact way.
And Gina, you actually introduced me to Bic markers.
Oh, yeah, Bic markers are great. I have the full set of Bic markers in both the fine tip and the ultra fine tip. I bet there's going to be Black Friday specials all over the place for those. And I use those quite a bit. I take those on the road with me when we go to swim meets, because if I lose one, I don't care. I can grab them at the office supply store. And they are alcohol markers. They work with any of the Copic, Spectrum Noir, Blick, any of the blending pens. So you can create great textures, and you can lighten up the color. Yeah, they're great.
And they're cheap.
Cheap, very cheap. If you're on a budget.
That's good to know. I didn't know they were alcohol markers.
Oh, yes.
And I think we should have given a warning at the beginning of the show about all the enabling we're doing, because now I am looking forward to Gina K Design site with our discount code, and then I need to go buy some of that glitter art glue. I have to make sure George didn't buy it first, though. He might. I'll have to talk to him, but we'll get that. And would we save on shipping, Maymay, if we bought the small and big together?
You actually do, because, you know, the Postal Service has this thing about package size. So really what costs us more is that as the bigger the package gets, is almost more expensive than the weight, which is crazy. But if you go ahead and get them both, it's cheaper than buying them. Like, it's cheaper shipping than to buy one now and then buy one later. Yes, you will save on shipping to do that. And listen, I'm selling it at the price it should be sold at. I'm not able, we can't just mark things down. That's not how you do business. But I'm very fair with the price, and I know everybody was concerned about that, because the reason I bring that up is there are a lot of websites that sell it for a lot more, or they charge a lot more shipping, and that's been really kind of the issue with my friends wanting to buy art glitter glue, and I promise I'm doing the best I can do for you. We feel like we are. Vince and I have studied on that. So.
Well, George just said I'm looking at the chat, he just said he already bought it, so I don't have to buy that. But he did mention in the chat that I do have to buy the 120-pound paper from Gina. So I think I'm going to be getting a big order from Gina. So I'll do an unboxing video so everybody can see it, and I'll try it. And so we'll do that after the show. I'll go shopping after I put all the links in the video.
Okay, ladies, we had one other question. Several people had problems with their internet going out and coming back in, and several of them missed the secret word. So can we share it one more time?
I think so. The secret word for today is thankful.
I want to have like a little ball that bounces across, as you say. Cute. So that's pretty much it for today. This was a great show. I had a lot of fun, and I learned a lot of stuff.
Yes, I learned a lot too. Thank you, Gina, for coming on to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
So, Melody, it looks like our next show is November 30th. You want to talk about what's coming up on that show?
November 30th, Blitzy will be on. I'm not sure yet who from Blitzy. They haven't decided that yet. But Blitzy will be on, and that will be Cyber Monday. So we'll get to talk about maybe some things you've purchased, and I know Blitzy's also having a big sale on that day, so that will be exciting. And Maymay will have a craft for that day. Do you know what craft you're doing yet?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I like to kind of wait and see what's going on, but I do have breaking news.
Oh, what's that?
It looks like we may have our new guest for December 7th, so I'm not going to share that here, but if you want to know who our next guest will be, head over to our Facebook page, which is This Crafty Life Live on Facebook. There'll be links underneath the YouTube video, and you'll get to see. We always try to go ahead and let you guys know who's coming, because a lot of times you might want to mark your calendar to not miss someone and to be able to ask them questions. And so I'm really excited. It looks like while we were sitting here, I got a message that we have our next guest, so that's super cool.
Cool.
And we also had a question, Maymay, about your Etsy store. How do people find you on Etsy?
Super easy. Matter of fact, let me say this. To make this easy, I am Maymay Made It everywhere. If you go anywhere, that's where you'll find me. So if you go to Etsy, I'm Maymay Made It, Pinterest, YouTube, Periscope, everywhere's Maymay Made It. And if you want to just skip and go straight to the address, here's your address. www.etsy.com/shop/Maymay Made It. But if you just go to Etsy and go in the search and type in Maymay Made It, my store will pop up. And still time to get your Christmas stamps, guys. Don't miss those. They're super fun.
All right. That's all I have, ladies.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And we will be putting all the links below in the video. They might not be there in the next 10 minutes, but I will work on that as soon as we're done. And
I'm glad you said that. Let me tell them this, too, because this happened. We're learning because it's only our second show. If you guys weren't able to participate in the chat and you have questions sparked from today's episode, put them in the comment section of this video once it goes live, because Melody and I both check that, and we'll be able to answer any questions you have. And you also remind us if we forget things, and that's good because we try to remember, but sometimes we forget stuff we said in the video. So go ahead and use the comment section of the video, and we'll get back to you ASAP.
yeah, and leave us comments. You can't leave us comments until after we're done with the live show, so all of your chat goes away. So we don't see any of that. I'm looking at some of it now, but Maymay doesn't see it, and it's hard for us to keep up with the video and read, so we don't see it all. So I know some of you are saying great comments about all of us, and we'd appreciate it if you put it in the comments after the video.
Vince doesn't tell us all the great things that are being said about us.
Oh, people love Gina and Maymay and me and Vince.
Yay!
And they're all saying they love Gina's paper and her inks and everything also. So we'd appreciate all those awesome comments to be put in the comments. So Gina can read all those afterwards too, because Gina can't see the chat either. So if you guys would, comment afterwards, come back after, maybe 10, 20 minutes. I think it takes a while for it to process on YouTube, maybe a half hour. I'm not sure. So if you come back later and leave the comments that you're leaving in the chat, that would be awesome. And if you come up with any questions, too. And people are ordering their glue. They've already gone and ordered it.
Thank you so much. I love you guys.
Okay. I think that's it for today. Don't miss out. Next time we'll be on Maymay's channel. So there'll be a link to Maymay's channel in the description also. So go there and check her site. And she'll have it, I think, on her page where you can set a reminder.
I will. We'll do that right after this, too.
Yeah, so you can go to her YouTube page and click on the next show.
I'm glad you said that.
We put all these.
We need to remind people that the video, because we set the reminders early, if you go and click on Melody's videos, it's not going to be the very first video you see. You may have to scroll down a couple videos to find the live show, but it will say This Crafty Life Live Episode 2. Because I've had some people ask me that because it doesn't stay at the top.
Yeah, I have a playlist of the videos, so we will always put all these in a playlist. So you can, if you missed a show, you can always go back and do that. So I have that. If you go like halfway down on my page, you'll see the playlist of our show, and our last week's show is first, and this one will be second.
The best thing to do is join the Facebook group. That's the best thing because we put everything there.
Yes. All right. I think that's it. I just want to say thanks to everybody. Thank you, Gina, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.